input service distributor is a head office. So he is a person who is conducting different business. The side office issued invoice for distributor of the credit of ITC. CGST collected will go to the central government and SGST collect will go to the state government. Input service distributor means an office of the supplier of goods or service. Hello my dear students, I am your Ajay sir, faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram First Grade College, Mysuru, a Temple of Excellence. My dear students, in today's session I am going to handle the subject Indirect Tax 2 for 6th BCom, and the topic is Input Tax Credit. In the previous session, we were discussing about what is the meaning of input tax credit and what are the eligible criteria. So who are all eligible to get the input tax credit. But in today's session, we are going to discuss on manner of distribution of credit by the input service distributor. So we have already studied what is the meaning of input service distributor. Who is input service distributor here? So you can see the picture. So input service distributor is a head office. So he is a person who is conducting different business in different areas. So even though his head office, he will be having different branches in different area, and the head office will be registered under the tax authority. So whatever the transaction other business or other branches will do, so all the transaction and all the input tax credit will comes to the input service distributor office, and this distributor has to distribute the credit, other credit related to particular branches. For example, the branch 1 is there, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4, branch 5 and branch 6. Okay, and this one is the head office. The business done by the head office is 10 lakh rupees. Okay, the business done by the head office is 10 lakh rupees worth of transaction has happened. Okay, or 10 lakh rupees worth of goods sold by the head office. So we have so many branches. The input service distributor will get the credit from the tax authority to 1 lakh rupees worth of input tax credit comes to input service distributor. So this distributor has to distribute the credit to other branches on the basis of their business or their credit, whatever the credit available or whatever the credit eligible for that branch. This distributor has to distribute the input credit to the other branches. So this is the head office. So let's assume head office has a credit worth of rupees 10,000 rupees. So apart from deducting 10,000 rupees, other 90,000 rupees should be distributed to other branches. So what do you mean by input tax? Input tax is a credit where the businessman can claim or can deduct the taxes which is already paid for the input or for the purchase of the raw materials or other capital goods. So these branches are also has purchased some raw materials or maybe machinery, and they have sold the product. While selling, they have paid the tax. After distribution of the input tax, they have to pay the tax to the government. This is the meaning of input tax credit. And input service distributor is a head office, or it is any office which is registered under the input tax authority or the tax authority of India, and whatever the tax or credit comes to the distributor will has to distribute to other branches of it. According to section 20, input service distributor means an office of the supplier of goods or service or both. So it is an office which is a supplier of goods and service or both. Next one, it receives tax invoice issued towards receipt of input service or such other documents. So it is a head office. It receives all the bills, or maybe it issues the bills and it also receives the bills, and also any other documents from the input tax authority or it may be tax authority of India. It will receive all the documents for the purpose of distributing the credit of CGST and SGST. So this office will get all the details and also credit, even though other business has conducted the business or other branches are conducted the business. So all the branches transaction and also credit will comes to the head office. The head office has to distribute all the credit of other branches according to their sales or according to their portion of credit. Such office distributes credit of ITC for input service among suppliers having the same PAN. See here, again come to the picture. So this is the SID input service distributor is having a same PAN number, single PAN account number. On the single PAN account number, he is a head office, he is the owner of the business. So even though he is having so many different business in the different parts of the country, so all the business are conducting business on the same PAN number. So the head office will get all the input tax credit. So whatever the other branches has done business or any other transaction, sale of goods on the base of sale, this distributor will distribute the credit available from the government. The side office issued invoice for distributor of the credit of ITC. The side office issue invoice to distributor for the, so on the base of, for example, again coming to the picture. So this side office or these branches will send the invoice or bills, whatever the transaction they have done, whatever the business or sales or purchase they have done. So all the bills will be sent to the distributor on the base of information, on the base of bill. This distributor or input service distributor will send the credit whatever available or eligible from the branches. Again coming to the next line, condition for distribution of credit. What are the condition? What are the rules? What are the regulations? So how a distributor can distribute the credit to all the branches? Let's see. The credit can be distributed to recipients of credit against a document. Without documents, without any proof, a distributor cannot distribute the credit or input tax credit. So the distributor will ask for all the related documents and also proof how much materials purchased, how much capital goods purchased, and how much tax or how much credit is available or eligible by the branches or also other said offices will be calculated by the distributor on the base of the proof and also documents sent by the other side offices or other branches. On the base of this proof, the distributor will distribute the tax. Next one, the amount of ITC distributed cannot exceed the amount of ITC available for the distribution. See, for example, the input service distributor got the credit of 1 lakh rupees. So the distributor cannot exceed or cannot go beyond this 1 lakh rupees. In this 1 lakh rupees amount available, whatever the credit available, so within this amount, the distributor has to distribute the credit to all other offices. For let's take example. So branch A is here, branch B, branch C and branch D. This is the head office, got the credit from the government and information regarding the this much of input tax credit is available from all your branches on the same PAN number. So on this PAN number 1 lakh rupees is available. So this distributor will ask all the branches to send the documents regarding the how much they have purchased, what is their input, what is their raw materials, what is their any other products purchased on the goods they have sold. So now all the branches will send the documents, whatever they have purchased, whatever they have utilized as a capital goods and other information will be sent by the branches to the head office. After verification of all the documents, all the bills, all the proof, this distributor or head office will distribute the tax, will distribute the input tax credit to all other branches or side offices. So while distributing the input tax, the head office or the distributor cannot go beyond the limit of 1 lakh rupees. So he has to distribute the input tax credit within the stipulated amount or within the available credit. Next one, the ITC paid on input services attributable to the recipient shall be distributed only to that recipient. See, for example, this branch has done or purchased worth of 50,000 rupees worth of goods for production of the product and they have paid the 10% of tax. Okay, what is the credit available for branch A or side office A, it is 5,000. It is 5,000. Okay, it is 5,000. Again, branch B has purchased an input of 5 lakh. Input of 5 lakh. Again, they have paid the tax of 10%. So, what is their eligibility for the credit? It is 50,000. So, the distributor cannot distribute more than 5,000 rupees to the branch A, and also the distributor cannot distribute less than 50,000 rupees to the branch B. So, whatever the eligibility, so this branch B is eligible up to 50,000 credit. This branch A eligible up to 5,000 rupees of credit. So, the head office or distributor has to distribute according to their eligibility, not more than that or not less than that. Next one, the credit paid on the input service attributable to more than one recipient shall be distributed among such recipients on pro rata on the basis of turnover in the state. So, what do you mean by, again coming to the picture? So, if there is more than 1 or 2 person other branch office, see in this head office having a 4 branches. Okay. So, on the base of ratios, what do you mean pro rata? On the base of ratio, this is 1 lakh rupees credit is available. So, on the base of their purchase, after getting all the documents, after getting all the information from the branches, now the head office has to distribute the amount. So, on what basis we can distribute the amount? So, let's take it is 50, this is 5,000, remaining is 55,000 and 45,000 is available. Let's assume 15,000 here, and remaining is after 50 plus 5 plus 15. So, it is 2070, remaining is 30%. This is what is the pro rata. So, on the base of pro rata, like it is 30% is to 5% is to 15% is to 50%. This is the pro rata. This is the pro rata. Here in this case, they have got the 1 lakh rupees. Now, the 1 lakh rupees is efficient or sufficient. So, distribute all the branches. So, if in case they got only 50,000 rupees, if in case the head office or distributor got the just 50,000 rupees, how to distribute? Same, they have to follow the pro rata. So, out of this 50,000, 30% goes to D branch, again 5% goes to A branch, 50% goes to B branch, and 15% goes to C branch. Even though they got 1 lakh rupees total credit, 50,000 rupees total credit, whatever the amount sent by the credit should be distributed on the pro rata basis to all the service or all the site offices or all the branches. This is called as pro rata basis. So, whatever the total amount they have got from the head office, they have to distribute maybe enough or sufficient amount or insufficient amount. They have to distribute to the on the basis of pro rata basis. For example, if they got only 50,000, they cannot allot 5,000 rupees to the branch A. They will direct the 50%. So, out for 50,000 rupees, they can give, instead of giving 5,000 rupees, they can give only 2,500 rupees. Here also, they will direct the, out of 50,000 rupees, they will give only 25,000 rupees. Here also coming to B, instead of giving 15,000 rupees, they will give 7,500 rupees. So, on the base of pro rata. So, what is the total amount you got? Divide on the base of sales or on the base of credit availability or eligibility. Next point is, the ITC paid on input service attributable to all the recipients shall be distributed among such recipient on the pro rata on the basis of the turnover in a state. Again, coming to the picture here. So, on the base of the pro rata only, on the base of the turnover recipient, what is the actual eligibility of the recipient, or also what is the actual eligibility of the branch. On the base of the eligibility, the distributor has to distribute the credit. Next one, utilization of ITC. How to utilize the ITC. What is the formula? Is there any rules or is there any steps to follow? So we have three types of GST. It is CGST, IGST and SGST. Okay. So in case of a distributor, the distributor has sent the goods to out of the state also and has done interstate business also and intrastate. Intrastate means within the state. Interstate means with two to three states. So they have done different types of business. So on what basis, after they got the input tax credit from the tax authority, so on what basis they can distribute or they can utilize the credit, even though they are having three types of tax. So is there any set off and carry forward is available? So is there any, if there is any excess amount available in the CGST, can utilize for the IGST? If there is any excess amount available in the IGST, can we utilize for the SGST? Is there any possibility to use the others excess credit to use for the shortage of the other GST, different form of GST? So let's see here. The GST is dual concept system composed of two rates, central and state. So GST is a two types of tax. One is central GST and state GST. Next one, on every transaction within the state, CGST collected will go to the central government and SGST collected will go to the state government. See, for example, we are in Karnataka. If you do the business within Karnataka, we have done the business of, or we have sold the goods worth of 1 lakh rupees within Karnataka. So Mysore to Bangalore I am sending the goods. So I have to pay the tax of 10%. 10% means what? It is 10,000. So out of this 10,000, 50% of the tax goes to CGST, that means central GST. Again remaining 50% should come to state government, that is state GST, SGST. So this both the central and the state will divide the amount. But in case if we send the goods to out of the Karnataka, it may be Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, Karnataka to Andhra, Karnataka to Delhi, Karnataka to Kashmir, Karnataka to any other different states of India, then it may be out of the country also, from Karnataka to America, Karnataka to UK, Karnataka to any other, for example, Bangladesh, China. If you send goods, it may be out of the state or out of the country, then we have to pay the IGST. So IGST full amount will goes to center. The IGST full amount will be collected by the center, and later the center will send, the central government will send some of its share to the state's government. Are you understanding? So CGST, when you do the business or if you sell the goods or purchase the goods within the state, so out of the total tax, half of the tax will be leviable by the state government, remaining half leviable by the central government. If you sold goods or if you purchase goods, it's out of the country or out of the state, that should, as it is an integrated GST. This is integrated GST will be collected by the central government. Next one. So whenever a sale is made within union territory, UGST is applicable instead of SGST. So here if you, for example, I am in Karnataka, I am the business person in Karnataka, registered in Karnataka. So I am sending goods within the states, then it is CGST and SGST. If I am a registered person in the Puducherry, or it is a Jammu and Kashmir, or it is a Ladakh, so these are all the union territories. So instead of these union territories government, instead of paying SGST, they will pay the UTGST. So instead of paying the SGST, they have to pay UTGST, Union Territory GST. Now let's go to the next slide. The following preference shall be made. Setting up of input tax credit. So what are the, how to utilize, what are the dimensions or what are the steps are there for utilization of the GST or input tax credit? Let's see. For making payment to IGST, for example, if you are paying the IGST tax, let's see like this. So make 3 columns. This is CGST, SGST and IGST. Okay. For making IGST, we are making the payment of IGST. If you have excess credit in the IGST, first pay the IGST. First utilize your IGST credit to IGST. IGST credit to, I am right, IGST. Utilize the credit to, first goes to IGST. If you have excess amount, then you can come to CGST, and even though after deducting the CGST amount, you can go to the SGST. So IGST amount can, the excess amount available in the IGST, credit available in the IGST, you can, if you have any IGST, again you have some amount, excess amount. For example, let's assume we have to pay 10,000 rupees tax to IGST. So we have excess amount up to, we have, it is 25,000 rupees we have, isn't it? 25,000 rupees we have excess credit. So what is excess credit you will be having? It is 15,000 rupees excess. Now this 15,000 can be utilized for the payment of the or any shortage in the CGST. Even after, if you have any amount, after paying the CGST, you can go for SGST. This is how the mechanism works. So take input tax credit from the IGST, then come to CGST and SGST, which is paid on the purchase. So again, that's what they are telling. Whatever the excess amount you are available here in the IGST, come to CGST. You can utilize amount for the CGST. Even after you have any excess amount, you can go to the SGST. So that means IGST excess amount can be utilized for the CGST. You cannot come here like this. First you coming to the SGST and CGST. First you have to go to the CGST. Even after paying the CGST amount, if you have any excess credit is available, then you can go to the SGST. Next one, for making payment of the CGST. Now if you have, now we are paying the CGST. First you utilize your credit to the CGST. If you have any excess after paying the CGST, you can utilize this amount to IGST. So CGST can be utilized for the IGST. Take the input tax credit from the CGST. First you utilize the amount for the CGST. If you have any excess amount or excess credit after utilization to the CGST, you can utilize this excess credit to IGST. Again coming to the, for making the payment of SGST, make input tax credit from the SGST. So if you have to pay the SGST, or if you have any credit to the SGST, first utilize that credit to SGST. Then if you have any excess credit available after payment or after utilization to the SGST, then you can go to the IGST. See, IGST amount can be utilized for the CGST and SGST. Again, CGST amount can be utilized for the IGST. SGST amount can be utilized for the IGST. But we cannot utilize any excess amount available in the CGST can't be utilized for the IGST. Again, if you have any excess amount in the or excess credit in the CGST, you cannot utilize for the SGST. Are understanding? IGST can be set off. Okay, IGST can be set off from the CGST. IGST can be set off from the SGST. Again, if you have any excess amount in the IGST, you can come for the CGST first, then you can go for the SGST. Not coming first for the SGST and CGST. We have the formula. First IGST, then CGST, later SGST. If you have any excess amount available in the IGST, first utilize for the IGST. Even if after utilization to the IGST, coming to the CGST and SGST. Not like this. IGST, SGST, CGST. Okay. Now if you have any excess amount in the CGST, go to the IGST. Excess amount in the SGST, go to the IGST. But you cannot, there is no cross utilization from the CGST to SGST, SGST to CGST. There is no cross utilization. Please bear in your mind. Now let's go to the next slide. So this is the formula. Again, we have already discussed this one. If you have any credit in the IGST, utilize this first for IGST, then go to the CGST, then go to the SGST. Again, coming to the CGST, excess credit is, if you have, you can utilize for the CGST first, then you can go to the IGST. Here also, SGST, first utilize for the SGST, you can go to the CGST. But one more point here, again, you can, there is no cross utilization between CGST and SGST. So there is no cross utilization between CGST to SGST, SGST to CGST. But IGST can be utilized for all the CGST. But first come to the CGST, then go to the SGST in case of IGST. This is the problem. So we are having a problem how to calculate the CGST, SGST and IGST, and also how to utilize the credit, ITC credit. First one, goods supplied for captive consumption of the factories. So he is sending the goods for the factory. Factory means for the business purpose, ITC is available. So any goods purchased or sold for the business purpose. So on that, if you paid any taxes, for that tax you will get the credit only for business purpose. If you utilize goods for personal purpose, then you cannot claim the ITC. So it is ITC is available. ITC is available. Next one, input used for the quality control test. So this is also for business purpose. So we can give the input tax credit. So input tax credit is available. Next one, inputs used for trial run. That is also for business purpose. So ITC is available. Input tax credit is available. Next one, food and beverages produced for the registered person to be used in directors meeting. So this is considered as a for friendly purpose, for personal purpose. So this is not for business purpose. So it is not available. NA means not available. Next one, packing materials used in factory. So where we are using in factory, that is for business purpose we are using. So whatever charges you did, 80,000 rupees you have made for the purpose of the package. For that 80%, whatever the tax you have paid for the 80,000, that is available. Full amount is available as a ITC. Next one, goods purchased but were later stolen. Already explained, stolen goods, theft or any captive goods under captivity by the government, not available. ITC is not available for those goods stolen, lost or damaged in the accident. So it is not available. Not available. Next one, goods used for setting up of telecommunication tower being immovable property. One more point you have to bear in your mind. So any goods or any inputs, if you used any inputs for the telecommunication purpose, the GST is not available. It is a law. Next point, goods used for constructing additional floor of office buildings. See, so any goods used for the immovable property. So if you are using for the construction of immovable property, the ITC is not available. Next point, goods used for repairing the office building debited to profit and loss accounts. For repairs, it is availability is there. The ITC is available is there. But for construction of fixed building or immovable property, so ITC is not available. So it may be any other charges like repairs and other maintenance charges, ITC is available. Next one, goods purchased for being used in repairing and same has been capitalized. So for if you used for the capitalized means what? Again it will be when you capitalize the amount, again it will be considered as a immovable property, then also ITC is not available. So total ITC is available is 4,13,000. So this type of problems may be asked for 5 marks in your exam. Next point. So in the next session, we are going to discuss on problems on ITC. So usually in ITC you will be having 10 marks problem, even in section B also, and also even in section C also, because we don't have 15 marks problem. Apart from custom duty, you don't have 15 marks problem. All the problems will be asked for. So if it is a 15 marks problem, so you will ask 10 marks problem and 5 marks theory, and you will make it 15 marks. For understanding, in exam they will ask for 10 marks problem on the ITC and also plus 5 marks theory, any theory. So we have already discussed who is job worker, so what is the duty of job worker and how will be treated, who is input service distributor, and how to use or how to utilize the ITC, and also how to what is the mechanism for the GST distribution. All these types of questions will be asked for 5 marks. Okay, so they will ask both, and also what are the advantages of ITC, disadvantages of ITC, utilization of the ITC, these objectives of ITC, these are all comes under for 5 marks, okay, and they will ask for 15 marks. And also in part B, 10 marks question directly, they will ask 10 marks problem only. So next session we will discuss on the problem, some of the problems, all types of problem we will discuss in the next session. Till then, thank you so much. See you in the next session.